It's time for Be in the Driver's Seat with Regina, the Queen of Car Loans, and mental health expert, Dr. Teresa Moore. A Saturday morning mix of cars, credit, and wellness created just for you.
Brought to you by Joe Lunghammer Chevrolet of Waterford.
Plan your next vehicle purchase or get your credit rolling in the right direction with Regina today. And now, Regina, the Queen of Car Loans, and Dr. Teresa Moore.
Good morning. You're listening to Be in the Driver's Seat, and I am Regina Eileen Woodard, a.k.a. the Queen of Car Loans. Good morning, Dr. T.
Good morning, everybody. It's Dr. T. Happy Saturday.
Dr. T, so how was your week last week?
You know what? My week was the bomb. I was getting ready to start a new adventure. God has got me doing something new, so I'm excited for the new. What about you, Regina?
You know, why are you always ready like Ready Freddy?
Listen, that's how I come in. I woke up to win. I hope y'all did too. Y'all listening, y'all tell yourself, I woke up to win.
Well, you know, you got a book called Woke Up to Win. What is it called?
Awaken to Win.
Awaken to Win.
Well, since she put that shameless plug out there. Go
ahead and give it to us. This morning.
Awaken to Win is actually a 30-day devotional where you get a quick prayer and an affirmation. So it's to actually elevate and lift you up and start your day. Jumpstart your day, you and the family. Throw it in your purse, put it in your car, or keep it on the mantle, but open it up.
So that's very important to start your day right. How you start your day is honestly how you end your day. Is that right?
Absolutely. So if you condition yourself in a way that you're going to have a good day and you tell yourself, I'm going to have a good day, it doesn't matter what challenge that happens in the day. You are already positioned yourself that I'm going to have a good day.
Hallelujah. Amen to that.
Hey, come on, somebody.
Hey, so the word of the day, or the word of the week, is rejection.
Oof.
And, you know, we're going to focus on that a lot during the show because a lot's been going on in the world. But, you know, I got to give my perspective in the car world when it comes to being rejected or just rejected or rejection, right? You know, people come into the car dealership and, you know, they know their situation, or they call in, or they put an application online, and it's always that fear of rejection. You know, it's not necessarily the people with bad credit. It's the people with great credit, too. Yeah. Because they may think they qualify for that 5% interest rate, and they leave out with an 8%. You know, so it goes both ways. And I just want to give you just an example to me of what I think rejection is, right? I remember when I was in my late 20s, early 30s. You know, you get older, you forget the years, right? But I remember when I was rejected to get a home loan. And a mortgage, and I felt that was the worst rejection in the world. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to feel. I just felt like a loser, right? But I didn't have the people surrounded in my circle to tell me what I needed to do. You know, I went to, back then it was a Republic Bank. You know, I don't know if anybody remember Republic Bank. And it wasn't Chase then. I think it was MBD. Or if it wasn't it was MBD. I don't know what the name was before that. I went to MBD. Was it MBD? Okay. So I went to traditional banks, but knowing I shouldn't have been in a traditional bank. First of all, I just put that little plug out there. I went behind my parents' back because I thought I was grown, I was engaged, and hard-headed, and I was going to look for house, but I was rejected, and I'll never ever forget that. But because I didn't communicate with the people in my circle, my parents, I felt I was rejected. So can you give an example, Dr. T, of you being rejected and how you felt?
Well, first of all, let me just talk about rejection anyway. Anytime a person does not get something that they want to get or they think that they deserve to get, sometimes they can feel like they're inferior, like something is wrong with them. I did something wrong and I can't get this. So I think about as a child, like I didn't grow up with my dad. So I felt kind of rejected by my dad, right? And so children who feel rejected as children, they grow up to be adults that still feel rejected. And guess what? So they feel like anytime somebody say no to them or they can't get what they want, they feel like, oh my God, something's wrong with me. I'm inferior. What did I do wrong? And really, rejection is really not bad. It's all in how you handle rejection, right? So just because somebody tell you no or not today, that doesn't mean that your whole life is shaped by that one experience. So rejection to me is being able to recognize, okay, what has happened? Why am I feeling this way? And do some internal work. So you need to do some internal things.
Okay, so can you give me an example now? Can you just, can you
so
personalize it now, please? Come on.
Today is going to be the therapist corner,
Get it,
right?
come on.
So for those of you who are listening today, the therapist points to ponder is coming up, and we're going to talk a little bit more about rejection. But really, rejection is examining yourself, finding out what it is inside of you, and then getting help to get some tools so that you can help work through those rejections. And you not live your whole life feeling rejected. You are enough.
So if you notice, hard listeners, that she still did not answer my question.
I don't know what she wanted. I don't know what she
wanted. Okay, so I'm gonna give you an example of rejection. So I remember. Okay, so I was on my way into the studio this morning, right? And I was running a little late, got stuck in traffic, right? In Rochester, right? I was house sitting for the Greens. I was taking care of my niece, Chelsea. So shout out to the Greens. Greens heating and cooling this morning. When she called me, I sent her the voicemail. That was rejection. You just didn't know it, right?
Oh, you talking about me?
Yeah. How did that make you feel?
Oh, I ain't feel no kind of way. I ain't feel no kind of way. Honestly, I ain't even realize it as rejection.
Right.
I felt like you was busy.
I rejected you. I just sent you the voicemail.
You know what I love about the cell phone? You got the option to pick it up or not. It ain't even rejection to me.
But how did that make you feel when I sent you the voicemail? I didn't pick up?
I didn't even pay attention to it. It made me feel like anything.
Okay, she got that therapist hat on this morning. She's not letting me in. That's why she's so good. We got 2 doctors on the show this morning. 2 doctors, right?
She's
not
even
letting me get
into
in.
A side that don't exist.
Right. She's trying to. I can't tap in. Why you not letting me tap in a little bit?
Reggie, I'm not on your couch.
But I'm on your couch every day on the phone.
And you sure need to be. So, listen, the word of the day is rejection. So if anybody out there, if you feeling rejected or you feel like that you can't work through some things, then you need to see a therapist. Call somebody. You can call 1-800-PSYCHOLOGY today. You can put your zip code in and a therapist will pop up. You can investigate them, look them up. You can look up Dr. Lucetry Dalton-Trusty. She is available. So listen, I'm excited about that. So if you're rejected, you don't have to be. You don't have to stay in rejection.
So let me go on back. I'm sorry, I got a little off focus this morning. I got a little excited, laughing. I guess it's a happy Saturday morning. But, being rejected when you come into the car dealership, what do? The reason why they call me the queen or I'm known as a queen is because if you're rejected, it's not over. What do we need to do to get your credit together to actually make you qualify for you so you can be able to qualify for that car? Or do we need to get a co-signer? Or do we need more down payment down? Because some cases, people don't understand is what kind of car you buy, what kind of equity position are you in, because you may come in for this car, but you might have to leave out with that car, right? Mm-hmm. So you got to understand, you got to put everything out on the table, especially if your credit's kind of shaky, and the fear of being rejected, you got to have a conversation with the queen because it's all about the structure of your car loan so that you would not be rejected and face rejection.
But you know what? You the queen of car loans, so people come to you when they've been rejected in the past. And so you known for taking those who have been rejected in the past and making it shake and bake. So shout out to the queen this morning.
Shout out to the queen. Shout out to the queen. You know what? We're going to take a quick break and we're coming back with
Dr. Lucetry Dalton-Trusty. Listen, y'all want to be on the line, get y'all pencil and paper out. This is a phenomenal woman. She is a psychologist and she's a professor, and I'm excited to hear what she has to share today. So y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hi, Joe Lunghammer here from Joe Lunghammer Chevrolet with Regina, the queen of car loans and the queen of community. Isn't that right, Regina?
That's right. When you buy a car from me, you get on the road in style and you'll be enrolled in the Joe and the Queen's Community Program, where we help you work your way towards better credit.
Joe knows it's good to help our community here in Waterford and Metro Detroit.
To find me, Google Regina, the queen of car loans.
Chevrolet, find new roads.
To buy or sell your home, whether you're relocating to Michigan from another state or another country, moving across town, upgrading, or downsizing, Brenda D. Davis from Century 21 Town and Country Real Estate is your locally known home purchase expert. Buying or selling your home is a complex process. Let Brenda simplify it every step of the way. Brenda D. Davis, the realtor that moves you. Call 248-909-9711 and get moving on your new home purchase or sale today. That's 248-909-9711. Call now.
You are still listening to Be in the Driver's Seat, and this is the Therapist Corner, Points to Ponder. And we have Dr. Lucetry Dalton-Trusty in the building. Good morning, Dr. Lucetry.
Good morning, Dr. T.
It's so good to have you in. So, y'all, let me share a little bit about Dr. Trusty here. So, she is a Pontiac native who is currently a clinical psychologist at Premise Health in Detroit. She's also the assistant professor and director of clinical training and the director of mental health and wellness at the Mental Health and Wellness Clinic at Wayne State University. A renowned mental health professional. Y'all hear that? Renowned mental health professional and Pontiac hometown hero. She has received several accolades, awards, certificates, and certifications and opportunities, including providing to mental health services to professional athletes. Y'all hear that? Athletes. Her success and commitment has allowed her to provide psychology services to various professional and community organizations, county and countrywide, as well as an advocate for and to teach others the importance of positive mental health development. I was so excited when I read that. So she has done so many things, but most of all, I have watched her grow. I remember her being a small child as we went to Welcome Missionary Baptist Church. So I'm so excited to have you on today. One of the things that I wanted to read real quick is your message that you wanted others to know. And you wanted others to know that experiencing mental health challenges is a natural experience of human existence. So I want you all to know that each one of us do have mental challenges. I don't care who you are. You're going to face something and you're going to go through something. And it's natural. And she says it's how we work through it and overcome those challenges that matters the most. So I'm excited about that. The last comment I want to say is she said our wounds are often the openings into the best and most beautiful part of us. So let's kind of talk about that. You talk about our very wounds are the openings to the best of us, the very best. Let's kind of talk about what does that mean?
That's a very loaded statement. And it kind of ties into y'all talking about rejection earlier.
Yeah.
So when you think about rejection, to me, rejection is a mindset. Meaning more so it's how you perceive the situation that may contribute to how you experience as rejection or as an opportunity to grow. So with that statement being, if you have a situation, well, like Dr. T saying, she ain't perceive you hanging up on her, ignore her, calling it rejection.
but it was.
To me, that's an example of her mindset towards it. Because if she looked at a rejection, that could have set the flow for her entire day towards a negative path. Versus her just looking at it, okay, she busy. It's nothing to do with me. She didn't internalize that in a negative way.
So y'all hear that? Listen, so
she did.
I didn't internalize that.
Wow.
So, Dr. Dalton, so I know we jumped in and we kind of started talking about the wounds, but I want you to kind of tell the listeners a little bit about you. Tell us, how did you even come into this field? Because most people say that they choose the field, but really I believe that the field chooses us. So kind of talk to us about how did you become Dr. Lucetry Dalton-Trusty?
Well, I would definitely agree. The field chose me probably by way of my mother. So as you mentioned, you know me since our Welcome Missionary Baptist Church days in Pontiac, Michigan. So at that time when I was growing up, I was asked by the nursery supervisor at that time to help her out in our church nursery.
Ooh, you know I know the nursery supervisor.
Miss Pinky Parker.
Miss Parker.
And so at that time, I think I was 11 or 12 years old, so just entering middle school when she asked me to come in there and help out. And I think just that experience alone and having the opportunities to be surrounded by so many different children with different backgrounds and upbringings and just getting into the mind of a child on a daily basis kind of inspired me to know more about how people think, especially starting as early as childhood and how that impacts how they function into adulthood. So fast forward, as I was applying to college, got into the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Once I got accepted, me and my mom went through the process of, what do you want to major in? And, at that time, I was an athlete in high school, so that's really what my focus was sports. So I'm like, man.
What did you play?
I played track, basketball, and volleyball.
Oh, you was all around.
I was.
Oh.
3-sport varsity.
Oh, wait a minute. She said 3 sports.
3 sports. Very competitive, okay?
Very, very competitive.
So, but let's dive a little bit deeper. So most of the therapists that I know, we all went through some challenges ourselves before we said yes to the call. Like, you had all of these things going, but what really inspired you to say, you know what, this is the niche for me. This is where I want to be. Kind of talk to us. Did you experience anything in childhood or even going through school, even in college, that said, you know what, I want to help somebody else because I went through this?
Oh, most definitely. I think that's kind of how I got into actually sports psychology and working with professional athletes, just because at that time when I was in high school and dealing with my own struggles as an athlete and trying to decide whether or not I want to continue that journey as an athlete into college, I went through definitely a stage of depression and anxiety. And at that time, mental health in the Black community was very taboo and not really known, honestly. So I didn't really have anyone to help me through that. I did have a supportive family, supportive friends, but they really didn't know what was going on beneath the surface because I'm always smiling. And one of my favorite sayings is you never know the struggle behind somebody's smile.
Yeah. But wait, let me stop you because you were saying that you experienced some depression and anxiety. And so even being surrounded by family, because what I've learned is that you can be surrounded by family and friends and even be married and still struggle with depression and anxiety. And people think because God makes your frame look good and you're able to continue on daily that all is well. So kind of talk to us about the masking that comes along with this journey.
And I think that masking is so common in so many demographics. But as we all sit in here as African American Black women, I think we are the experts in masking and facading with that superwoman, theory that falls upon most Black women who are mothers and entrepreneurs and wives, and and I think we learn that at such an early age within the Black community, especially being women, that you don't want to show your weakness, you don't want to show that you're vulnerable, or you'll be judged, or you'll be embarrassed, or people will think you're weak. And I think we learned that so early on in life that carries with us into adulthood. So that's what I was dealing with in high school. I had so many accolades and people had this perception of me, so I couldn't show that I was depressed or anxious.
Wow.
That would change people's perception of what I had accomplished up until that point.
That's pressure. That's pressure. And
Pressure.
so, you know what Dr. Miracle said to me the other day, we were in a class. She said that oftentimes we mask our pain and call it faith. So, kind of let's talk about that, like as professional women. And one of the things I told you I would like for us to talk about, there's a crisis going on in the world with people who feel rejected, with people who feel like they are losing control or something. But let's talk about how the masking, how sometimes we mask things and call it something else. Because we don't want to identify what actually was happening. Let's talk about that.
Well, going off the word of faith, I think a lot of people do use religion, as a way to mask certain things. Now, while religion can be a very valuable protective factor, it's definitely not the answer to what's going on. It may have something to do with it. It may be a contributing factor. And it also may, be a source of strength. But like you said, we have to learn to put words to what we're feeling. And transparency and honesty with ourselves and those around us who truly care about us. And sometimes, and faith is great, it does help us get through certain struggles. But again, that could just be something that's motivating. But what is it truly? How would you label what you're dealing with? And it's okay to say struggle. It's okay to say, I'm not okay.
Yes, it's okay to say I'm not okay.
To say I'm not okay.
Yes, and so the biggest thing that when we started this collaboration is I wanted to collaborate with other therapists and psychologists and stuff so that we as people can identify and give ourselves permission to feel so that we can begin to deal and heal. And oftentimes we don't want to deal. We don't want to, so that we can heal. We don't even want to feel like we want to feel like we're invincible. Like we could just walk through the day, put some salve on our body and not, feel hurt. So let's talk about that. Like this, one of the biggest things that bothered me this week, and I literally was weeping and praying because of what happened to this 2-year-old child, Winter, right? And so this is what's going on in the world. If you're in Michigan, or if you live in Detroit or any surrounding cities, southeastern Michigan, or anywhere in the world, this was headline news how this 2-year-old was killed by her mother's ex, right? And so I wanted to kind of talk about what that was in terms of rejection, because they were no longer together and he couldn't take no. So let's kind of talk about, I know we got to go to break soon, but this kind of, rejection. Let's talk about when somebody said no to.
And I think maybe for him, and granted, I don't know him personally, obviously we haven't had him on our couch to really know, the inner darkness of what he was dealing with. But to your point, the fact that he took hearing no to that extreme, to where he felt the need to take the life of a young child, that speaks volumes. That means something may have happened early on when he heard no so much that was his way of seeking some type of control and telling himself yes. Granted, that wasn't the best way to go about it, obviously, and it's a very traumatic outcome, but there's something underlying there to where he perceived being told no in such a drastic way and took such drastic measures in reaction to being like what he perceived as rejected.
So with that being said, we're going to take a break and we'll be right back with Dr. Lucetry Dalton-Trusty.
Hi, I'm Dave Wilkie, Service Manager at Joe Longhammer Chevrolet. Since the 1950s, Joe Longhammer and his family have been honored to service your vehicles. With 112 years of combined service experience, we can take care of any concern you might have. From warranty work to routine oil changes, we treat your vehicle like our own. Call now to schedule a next service appointment at Joe Longhammer Chevrolet. Stop by anytime, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Get your vehicle serviced right every time. Call 248-683-7100. That's 248-683-7100.
Chevrolet. Find new roads.
Are you paying high interest rates on a car loan? Do you desire to purchase a home, but you're unable to get approved? Perhaps you're repeatedly getting denied for credit when applying for credit cards. Listen, better credit doesn't just happen. You've got to make it happen. I've helped hundreds of people better their credit and their overall financial situation by applying a simple set of instructions that anyone can follow. Call me today, 1-800-988-9184. That's Kathy Washington, your financial impact coach, at 1-800-988-9184. Don't delay. Call today.
We're back and we're still with Dr. Lucetry Trusty here. And so when we went on break, Dr. Lucetry, we were kind of talking about control and the word no. So, you know, we all know the story about this young man, but kind of let's talk about, you talked about his way of response to no. Mm-hmm. So earlier you said when Regina made the statement that she kind of hung up on me, it was my perception of what she did. I didn't look at it as being negative. So kind of let's talk about his perception of the no sent him into out of control, basically. Mm-hmm. So let's kind of talk about that. What are your thoughts towards that?
And ironically, it's interesting that you say out of control, because in him behaving in an out of control way, that was his way of seeking control, mm-hmm. or feeling some type of false illusion of control. Mm-hmm. By, okay, you hurt me by saying no, how can I hurt you in retaliation? Mm. So I think him doing that, he knew that would, obviously that would hurt anybody, any woman, any mother, any parent.
Think about no, though. You used the word retaliation, and sometimes when we hear the word no, and I was sharing that no is a whole complete sentence, right? Yeah. So if I say no, I shouldn't feel guilty for saying no. And oftentimes we feel guilty for saying no, like we're going to let somebody mm-hmm. down, or saying no, it devalues who we are. Mm-hmm. So what's going on with the world today? Because we're seeing stuff that's coming from the Woolworths. All mm-hmm. types of senseless things are happening in the world just because somebody didn't get their way. Yeah. Like we got adults having temper tantrums.
Yeah, and I think it comes from some level of entitlement mm-hmm. that has been developed over time. And somehow everything ties back to social media and that instant gratification and being immediately validated by others through likes and comments. And when we don't get that as fast as we need to in the way that we feel we deserve, that aligns with our sense of entitlement, it's hurtful. Mm. We feel neglected, we feel abandoned, mm-hmm. and then obviously we internalize it. Okay, is there something wrong with me that I've done wrong, that I'm not getting this validation, and I'm being told no, and I feel like I deserve a yes. And when I say mindset, to me, I look at no as not right now. Mm-hmm. And whether you're a religious
That's
person,
it. I had to say that. That's it. Because when you tell me no, I just want to say something real quick. Okay. So when you tell me no, I can go all the way back when I was looking for a house, and they kept telling me no. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, it's no right now. But I'm gonna get my house. Yes. And when I was going to get a certain car, and they tell me no because I wasn't ready on credit, but was ready in my mind. No right now is not to mean no forever. Mm-hmm. So I strongly got that. Y'all need to get some pencil and paper. I'm just listening here. That's why I had nothing to say, because I'm over here taking notes.
That's good, though, but that's delayed. The delay of a thing doesn't mean a denial of a thing. That means it's not right now. So let's go back to that.
So even going back to what Regina talking about earlier, of how she finds different pathways for people to get a yes. Mm-hmm. That's how I look at no. No means not right now, meaning the path you're taking is not meant for you to get the yes that you're looking for. Mm-hmm. You need to reevaluate and take a different path.
That's good.
Or it might just not be your timing. And there's been things that I've looked back on in my life where I've been rejected. And fast forward to my future, in hindsight, I'm like, I'm so glad I was told no 10 years ago, because I wouldn't have got the yes that I needed 10 years later.
That's good. That's good.
Talk to us.
Yes,
Talk
'cause
to
you-
us, Doc. Talk
you
to
talked
us.
to us about instant gratification too. So if you would have got that instant gratification, you wouldn't be sitting where you're sitting
where I'm
today.
sitting today.
And so I want to talk a little bit. You mentioned social media, and a lot of people, they base their life off social media about likes and shares and things like that. So you said that, and one of the things you said that if they don't get the likes that they want, that they feel like nobody likes me or something's wrong with me. But could it be possibly that people are watching and they're following, but yet still they may not want you to know that they're watching and following?
Very much possible.
So I mean, that's a form of really perception. Like, I'm perceiving how you feel about me based on what you do on social media. Not that we have a relationship outside of this, not that we have commonalities outside of this, but just based on so the world can see.
Exactly.
So oftentimes, do you find, even as in your profession, do you find that a lot of the things that that people are coming to seek you for really is validation?
Most definitely. I think that's a big part. It may not be the only thing, but somehow validation is always part of what's going on. And part of what I do as a psychologist is teach people how to self-validate. Stop depending on other people to validate who you are and who you want to become, because you're not going to get that.
That's it. And you may not, and also people who we deem as being someone who can validate us, if they never do, we have to give people permission to say, you know what, I love you despite that you couldn't give me what I thought I needed. But it always goes back to self, right?
Exactly.
So when you teach them, what are some of the tools that you use to help teach them for self-validation?
Some things just simply changing your perception of who you are and how you view yourself. And a lot of what I run into with clients when I ask them that, their answer of their self-concept is based on how other people view them or what other people have said about them. Well, my mom says I'm always nice, or, you know, this person says I'm beautiful. Okay, what do you say?
Yeah.
And they get stuck.
Yeah, that's good. I remember giving a client a mirror and asking the client, like, what do you see? And people always give me surface answers. And so I'm not necessarily looking for a surface answer. When I ask you, what do you see? I'm literally asking you, what do you see in you?
Yeah.
Not, you got on red lipstick.
Who you are at your core.
Yeah. Listen, let's go to the heart of you. Like, right. That's good right there. So so one of the things you talked about is self-validation, but what about people who just, they don't have a sense of self. They don't know who they are. How do you get outside of, you know, them trying to change the perception of how they see themselves? How do you get them to a place to even know that they're valued? Because a lot of people just don't feel like that they have nothing to offer.
Some people have to go through a process of relearning themselves. And I always tell people, you know, at different stages of development, who you are is not going to be the same.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it comes down to just reevaluating who you are, what you want out of life, where you see yourself in the next 5 or 10 years, and how can we get there in a realistic manner. Because sometimes we do have unrealistic expectations and goals of ourselves, but there's still ways to finesse the situation and make something as close to that happen.
That's good.
So I tell people, just really sit back and learn yourself. Take yourself out on a date. You know, treat yourself the same way you treat other people.
Yeah. I'm big on that. I'm big on, you know, self-care to me is not getting your nails done, your hair done, none of that. Self-care is literally doing something for yourself that not these are bills. Yes. Like getting your hair, nails, eyelash, that stuff we do. But I mean literally dating yourself. Like I send people on dates to parks, places where they are intentionally in the moment with themselves. So have you noticed in your field that people just don't want to be alone with themselves?
Definitely.
Let's talk about that.
Like, they are scared to come across what they may learn about themselves.
Wow. The biggest thing that you can do for yourself is ask God to show you yourself. That's the biggest thing. Because how can you expect someone else to love you, value you, if you don't?
If you don't.
That's good. Wow. So, Dr. Dalton, tell the listeners, how can they reach you if they want to come sit on your couch, or if they want to have a consultation with you, or if they just want to know what you're doing next? How can they reach you?
Well, I'm always available via email at Lucetry, Lucetry, @gmail.com. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm also, as Dr. T mentioned, a professor at Wayne State University, so you can find me on the Wayne State University faculty website. For services, Wayne State Mental Health and Wellness Clinic, which I am the director of, does offer free counseling services to the community.
Repeat that again.
Wayne State Mental Health and Wellness Clinic in Detroit, Michigan offers free services to the community as well as Wayne State students, both hybrid, through a hybrid model, so both in person and virtually. So it could be easier accessible by everyone involved. So you can go to the Wayne State website or type in www.mhawc.com, and from there you'll see a link to request services. While I may not be the therapist, I typically supervise the therapists who are providing those free services.
I also saw that you do Better Health.
Yes, I am on Better Health as well.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So I was thinking about joining them, yeah. So, Dr. Dalton.
I'm sorry. No. I wanted to ask you a question real quick before we take a quick break, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So why did you actually start the Points to Ponder? Why is that? Why must we do that every month?
So the Points to Ponder goes back to when I was working at Baker College as a professor, and my students would come in and they would always be they were on the soapbox. So I got literally a tied soapbox, which was at that time a plastic tied old soapbox that had a lid on it. And I told them that when you come in, you get 5 minutes to come in and complain, and then you throw everything in this soapbox. So you get to be on your soapbox for 5 minutes, but afterwards we were going to have a solution. Mm-hmm. And so Points to Ponder came from that. So you got 5 minutes for us to ponder over these points, and then we're going to get some work done. And so that's how it was started. And then once we got on the radio, I got on the radio with you, Regina, and we started talking about having a therapy session. I thought about, you know what, let's talk about Points to Ponder. Yeah, we got a problem, but what is the solution? Mm-hmm. How can we collaborate with other therapists, other psychologists, other coaches? How can we come together so that we can help people be better? My goal is to help everyone be healthy, happy, and whole. How can we do that together?
And what's your other 3 words?
So number 1 is feel, deal, heal. That's all 3. Number 1 is to feel it. Number 2, so we can deal with it. And number 3, so now we can heal from it. So there you have it. So I appreciate you so much, Dr. Dalton. Again, thank you so much for joining us. This has been the Points to Ponder section, and we'll be right back after we take this break.
Regina, the Queen of Carlone's here with Joe Longhammer Chevrolet. If you're looking to get into a new or used vehicle with affordable rates, we've got your back. My lenders are making unheard of deals where others may have roadblocks. Regardless of your financial situation, I can get you financed and driving today. Simply Google Regina, the Queen of Car Loans. Ride in style with the Queen. Regina, the Queen of Car Loans at Joe Longhammer Chevrolet in Waterford.
Chevrolet, find new roads.
Hi, I'm Regina, the Queen of Car Loans.
I'm Dr. Teresa Moore.
And I'm Gil Garrett.
Together, we are teaming up to bring massive value to the community when it comes to cars, credit, and mental health.
Finances and mental health are big topics these days, and our goal is to help you take both to the next level.
Tune in weekly from 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. for in-depth conversations, news you can use, and special guests every Saturday morning.
On DetroitPraiseNetwork.com, 98.3, 99.9, or 105.9 HD2. We're back, and this is one of my favorite parts of the show, or one of the segments that we do on a regular basis, is the community part. I have Eisha Branner. She's a founder, CEO of eCommunity Outreach Services. She's a mother, a mentor, a boss. She has 4 kids. The ages are 6, 8, 18, and 20. She has her bachelor's and master's degree. How do you raise an 6, an 8-year-old, 18-year-old, and a 20-year-old, and have a bachelor's and a master's degree? The average person, and not even the above average person, can do that. You know, she spends a lot of time actually in her outreach service taking care of the community. And, you know, this morning, we're just going to talk a little bit about how she got there and what is she doing now and what does her future look like. Good morning, Eisha.
Good morning, Regina.
How you doing today?
I'm doing good.
You doing good?
Yeah.
Let me just give you a shout out. I just want to say I have watched you over the years, and I am just so proud of you. You know, you are my little sister from another mother. You will always have that special place in my heart, because you know how people watch you from a distance and they're in that corner and they cheering for you?
Yeah.
See, I'm that cheerleader that you didn't know you had before we actually connected. So I know that you have a lot of people in the community, the city of Pontiac, surrounding areas that are cheering for you and just watching you win. So how did you actually get started eCommunity Outreach Services?
It goes all the way back to 2015. I started a mentoring program for girls called Raising Hope Youth Outreach, where I ran a mentoring program at PAE. And then a few years later, I ended up rebranding that mentoring program and did it just for boys. And it was called Fitness and Mentoring. And in that moment, I was connecting the families that was enrolled in the mentoring program with the resources that were available in the community, and then providing case management to their families. And then shortly after that, I partnered up with Oakland County Sheriff Powell and did that for a few years. And then I left and decided to open up e-community outreach services. So I've been doing it. It was just different names underneath different organizations. I just created I just renamed it and just did everything I had been doing for about 10 years.
So the one great thing that I watch you do over the years, and actually you just said it, you rebranded yourself. You took what you had, and then you just changed it a little bit, and you continue to grow. Yeah. A lot of people can't do that because they get stuck. They don't know how to add certain things to their brand, and then it being the same person. Yeah. So I want to give you a kudos because you kept winning. You know, a lot of people, I don't know what else to do next. So I don't know how to, I don't know my next step. And your next step was e-community outreach services. What's up under the umbrella of that? I know you have the community services for the kids. I know you have the parents. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the parents first, because usually we just talk about the kids. Yeah. Let's talk about the parents. How are you helping them with their kids, or what actually services do you offer?
So I opened up, my very first building was the Parent Empowerment Center, and that was to focus on connecting my families to community resources. So I have a staff that focuses on utilities, housing, education, employment, and mental health. And then once we connect them to resources, we provide that wraparound service up to 3 months.
So if your lights are going to be disconnected, you have the resources to connect the parents for that.
Absolutely.
And that's important because a lot of people don't know the services that are offered out there that they can use, right? Yeah. But what besides that do you offer for the lights?
So if they have a shut off, right now, depending on under $500, we pay that.
Okay.
And so once we pay that, we connect them with a budget, and then we kind of help them get it themselves. Kind of thing. So, we are also partnering up with different organizations like OSHA, Lighthouse, Baldwin Center, the city, things like that can also help our families.
So I see the value of that is knowing that it is services out there that can help you, but it's all about the partnerships.
Yeah.
It's all about the relationships. And that's how you're able to get a lot of things done. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. Collaboration is our top thing. Collaboration, relationships with other organizations. Yeah.
I've seen on social media that you guys, is it laundry, like home services, right? Mm-hmm. Let's talk about that. What do you guys offer when it comes to laundry, or what's the right word? Home services. What's the right word? Because I see laundry detergent. I see bounce.
Items, yeah.
Okay.
So we recently opened up our family membership store, which is also located in the same location as our Parent Empowerment Center and our Youth Empowerment Center. So all of our families, they can come in and shop for free. They get household items, personal items. We partnered up with OSHA, so we give them free diapers, clothes, shoes, you name it. We get this done through the partnership with Amazon.
Amazon, wow, that's one of the biggest organizations in the world is Amazon.
They take very good care of e-community.
Okay, so let me ask you this: how does a person qualify? Because we have listeners in Wayne County, Oakland County, Macomb. How do they, if they need the services, what do they do?
They just call us. We don't really, when I started the Parent Empowerment Center, I wanted to eliminate at least the least barriers as I possibly could. So we don't ask for a lot. It's up to you. You want to come in there, and if you need help, we're going to give you that help. It's no judgment zone. We don't ask for a lot of documentations. None of that. You qualify by just needing the help.
Okay, so that's key. Wait a minute. So you don't have to qualify. You don't have to bring documentation that you're hurting or you need something.
No.
And do you have to be? Because I know you have 4 locations, right? Let's talk about the locations. Your 4 locations. Where are they located? Where are they stationed out throughout?
My main headquarter for me and my directors, where we actually get the work done, is inside of the towers in downtown Pontiac, which is off of Woodard. Our Parent Empowerment Center is at in Waterford, 953 West Huron. Directly next door is our Youth Empowerment Center, and then in the corner of that building is our family membership store.
Okay, so I like the fact that you don't have to bring documentation, because I find a lot of times that people are, they're scared. They're ashamed that they need help. But, if you need help, you must seek assistance.
Yeah.
Do they have to just necessarily live in Oakland County, or can they live in another county?
So Oakland County, they have to live there for the most part. My focus right now is Pontiac, but we do get a lot of requests from Detroit. We get a lot of requests from that area.
So I just want to give you a small hint. If you know somebody up here and you need help, and maybe your friend doesn't need help, you need help and your friend doesn't need help who lives up here, you go through your friend. You make things happen. I know you should look at me like Regina, but it's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah.
Because you may not necessarily need it yourself, but you know someone that actually needs the services.
Yeah.
What's one thing that you want to share with the parents? What's one thing that you can say that your parents get from your outreach program for what you do?
I would say more than anything, someone that's been through the struggles. Very relatable. Everything that I offer, I've been through it. So when they come in, it's no judging. It's like, hey, I done been through that. It's okay to fall short sometimes. So that's the biggest thing. I want my parents to know, like, we're not here to judge you. All my staff have been through struggles. That's one of my requirements for working with us. If you don't understand what we're doing or what a person is going through, you can't come and work with us, because we need somebody that can understand how to get over that hump. So that's one of the huge things that I try to, bring to my parents, is that connection.
Connecting the dots. Mm-hmm. And I love the fact that you said, you want someone that's on a team that's been through. Yeah. Because sometimes if a person hasn't been through what you've been through, then they're not going to understand, or they're not going to be as sympathetic. For instance, when a loved one or someone passes, people will say, I'm sorry, my condolences, right? But you're not going to understand unless someone close passed to you, pass or dies, that's close to you. You can say it, but you don't know how they feel. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the kids. What do you do for the kids, and what's the ages?
So we service 6 to 14. I have an internship program that pretty much my kids run. They run the Youth Empowerment Center. So I train them for about a month. They create programs that they're interested in. They facilitate those programs. They help us make sure whatever funds we got coming in, whatever grants, they oversee those with my assistance, of course, but for the most part, they run it. Monday through Friday, we have one of our youth there to connect families with youth resources. So it's mirroring the same as my Parent Empowerment Center, but it's just being ran by our kids.
Wow, it's like you reach, was it reach back, teach back, or reach back? Anyway, you guys know what I mean. But I like the fact that the kids are actually, you're training them for 1 month, and then you're letting them run it, because that's an internship. That's getting them ready for the future. And I don't know of a lot of programs that actually do that, because you have a lot of the programs that are out there. I know in the city where we actually live, they have people running it. Older people or adults run it instead of letting the kids run it or supervising them.
What's the best way to get into the youth? You got to let them, lead, and you will be amazed at how amazing and talented these kids are. So they bring a lot to our organization, for sure. I will forever rotate our kids. They're learning how to give back. They're finding their passion. In some cases, they learn a trade. They all get professional emails. They get a computer. They get to wear professional shirts. And they feel like they are part of something. Mm-hmm. And for that, we definitely made a good choice on making that happen.
So I want to talk a little bit about you and because I know you're on your way to Florida, and you have some speaking engagements, some things that you're doing. Let's talk a little bit about that, because I just get excited when I hear you flying to a different state and you're speaking. What's going on the horizon next?
I am on my way to Florida the end of this month. To speak with a group of women about the part 2. I was down there in February, I believe, March. I went down there, and it was a huge hit. You know, I was able to share my story and my passion, and then kind of connect them to some help within their own area. So they have invited me again. So I'm just excited. I'm just going back down there now, talking about grants and things like that, how I was able to get funding and relationship building, and also share my up and coming book that is coming out.
Oh, so we got to have you back when your book comes out.
Yes.
When is it scheduled to come out?
So
Eisha?
hopefully at the end of August. I had to do a little hard stop because I had got sick and things like that, and then we opened up our store. So I'm still at it. So I'm hoping that I'll be done by the end of August.
Well, you heard it here. Eisha is on the move. She is she's still at it. You know, nothing can knock you down. You pick it right back up. So again, you know, we're proud of you. We're proud of you being in the driver's seat. You know, myself, Dr. Teresa Moore, Gil Garrett, we are proud of you. And as Gil says, trust the process. Absolutely. And then we know you are. All right, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Looking to buy or sell your home? Whether you're relocating to Michigan from another state or another country, moving across town, upgrading, or downsizing, Brenda D. Davis from Century 21 Town and Country Real Estate is your locally known home purchase expert. Buying or selling your home is a complex process. Let Brenda simplify it every step of the way. Brenda D. Davis, the realtor that moves you. Call 248-909-9711 and get moving on your new home purchase or sale today. That's 248-909-9711. Call now.
Are you paying high interest rates on a car loan? Do you desire to purchase a home, but you're unable to get approved? Perhaps you're repeatedly getting denied for credit when applying for credit cards. Listen, better credit doesn't just happen. You've got to make it happen. I've helped hundreds of people better their credit and their overall financial situation by applying a simple set of instructions that anyone can follow. Call me today, 1-800-988-9184. That's Kathy Washington, your financial impact coach, at 1-800-988-9184. Don't delay. Call today.
You are still listening to Be in the Driver's Seat, and this is the part that we absolutely love. So it is Shout Out Saturday to the businesses, to the small businesses. So today, the first shout out is coming from Jayla Sparks. She is the owner of hello@sheerandreal.com. This is an online shopping boutique, ladies. So if you are interested in getting comfort wear, lounge wear for everybody, listen, she has some beautiful items. She has a special this month. Everything on her site is $15. Do y'all hear me? $15. So make sure that you go to www.sheer, SHEER, and real, REEL.com and look to see what she has. She's on Instagram at Sheer and Real. Everything is $15. This is an online store, and you don't want to miss what she has. Again, that's Jayla Sparks, and she is at hello@sheerandreal.com.
So she's not you walk in, she's not a storefront. You have to do everything online?
You have to do everything online. So this is an online store, so you can look at all her products online and select what you want. She has some beautiful items, ladies. And so if you're looking to get something for your mother, your daughters, or even yourself, and it comes packaged very well, very professional. So check her out, sheerandreal.com.
Super excited about the next business I want to talk about is Micah 6 Communities Sprout Fresh Food Store located in Pontiac, Michigan. Actually, I saw it on Facebook. Actually, Eisha Branner, who's on the show today, she actually shared it on Facebook, and she got about 10 shares after that actually her visiting the store. And I actually forgot about them because they're located on Newberry Street, 32 Newberry Street in Pontiac, Michigan, 48341. You can always reach them at 248-632-4399, 248-632-4399. They actually grow their own vegetables in a garden. Mm-hmm. And you know when you go to the grocery store, right? Kroger, what's some other stores?
Kroger,
Myers.
You have I shop at big stores, y'all. So y'all know I'm at Restaurant Depot, I'm at Gordon's, and I'm at
Okay, so we're
Sam's
giving
and
everybody a
Tacos.
shout out this morning. The
I'm
purpose
just
of this,
saying.
Dr. T, was to say that they grow their own vegetables.
Yes.
And when you can go to a store where they grow their own fresh vegetables, That's strong. And
And
then
it's
they're all
reasonable.
about it's reasonable, and it's in the community. It's in the city of Pontiac. But you can go to their website. Is Micah? I'm gonna spell it because I'm always messing up a word. MICAH6community.com. MICAH6community.com. We got our own grocery store in our community. Fresh fruits.
Fresh fruits and vegetables, yes. So I'm excited about it. I'm going to visit it. I think it's only open on the weekend. Is it only?
No, it's open during the week. When is it open?
During the week? So I know for sure it's open on Saturday. Or is it open on Saturday? Yeah, I thought so. Tuesday through Saturday.
Tuesday
Okay.
through Saturday.
Yeah, so
Okay.
for all those that's listening, check out Micah. You want to go and check and get some fresh fruits and vegetables.
But it's always about supporting the community.
Yeah, absolutely. It's right around the corner from me, so I'm loving it. Yeah.
So I think you need to get yourself on over there at least once a month. And I'm just gonna
You
go in
mean
there just to
continue
support.
to go.
Oh, okay. My
Oh,
bad.
okay.
She just called me out this morning. I think I'm feeling some kind of way this morning. You know,
Listen,
but it's okay. Ever since she found out I sent her the voicemail and she didn't know it, she's back a little stank in the studio this
Y'all know
morning
that's
on
what
Saturday
rejection
morning,
do, right?
Yeah, right. Rejection came back on me because you know
Right.
I'll show my rejection when you have that certain background that you have being a doctor and people sit on your couch and they talk to you about
love
their
it.
issues, right?
Yes.
You know, when they have issues, they automatically, they try to put it back on you, but they bring their own problems up.
Do that. So listen, our next business we're shouting out. Listen, this is Raya King. Raya King is a young lady that I watched grow up in the city of Pontiac. I remember when she was born. She has a hair removal service, and she's in Redford, Michigan. And she is on Instagram at kittybar__. And she does Brazilian hair removal, facial waxes, and all hair removal off of the body. If you are interested in getting hair removed off of your body, you can call Raya at 313-646-1605. Again, she has the Kitty Bar. It's in Redford, Michigan.
Wait a minute.
It's
The Kitty Bar?
Yes. And so when I looked
Does she
at
serve
that,
alcohol? Is that why it's called the Kitty Bar?
no, she removes hair off of the skin.
I get it, but it says Kitty.
Kitty with a Kitty. Kitty Bar.
Say that again for the people in the back and the front.
Kitty Bar, and she's located in Redford, Michigan. She does hair removal services. So, ladies, you know it's summertime. If you need to have some hair removed, and guess what, man? She also services you too. So, anyone who's looking to have hair removal, please call Raya at 313-646-1605.
So, in other words, if you need hair removed under your armpit, on your legs, on your toes, if you got hair on your toes, then that's a problem. But anywhere you need hair removed, I'm sure she's there to assist you.
She is.
My next business is Mona Lisa's Hair International, located at 262 South Telegraph Road, Pontiac, Michigan, 48341. Again, Mona Lisa's Hair International. Mona Lisa has been in business over 50 years. But she is located at 262 South Telegraph Road, Pontiac, Michigan, 48341. Mona Lisa Hair does services of weaves, lace fronts, blow and go, press and curl. You name it, someone in Mona Lisa International does it. My stylist, which is Tamika Reynolds, she is in her mother's shop, Mona Lisa. You also have she's gonna kill me right now. Sonia Riley and some other stylists in there. So if you are looking to book your appointment with someone in Mona Lisa International, again, you can reach them at 248-768-2905. That's 248-678-2905. Or you want to reach Tamika Reynolds, you can call her at 248-747-2735. Again, Tamika Reynolds' number is 248-747-2735. And I was trying to look up Sonia's telephone number, but I guess I'm going to have to come back to that one. Go ahead, Dr. T.
So the last one that I have today is called Skills, SKILLZ Boutique LLC. Now, as a therapist, I'm always shouting out other therapists and psychologists because I love collaboration and working together. So Skills Boutique LLC is a counseling service. They offer individual and therapy counseling, life coaching, teen and adolescent counseling, mental health services, substance abuse. So if you're on probation and you need compliance, or if you are a court-mandated person. They can also sign your paperwork if you are dealing with anger management, substance abuse, if you need a handgun prevention or a driver's license restoration. You want to go to Skills Boutique LLC. I know one of the therapists there. Her name is Tiffany Davis. She will be absolutely honored to service you. If you want to reach them by email or their website, www.skills, SKILLZ, boutiquellc.com, or you can contact them at 248-924-9644. Again, that's 248-924-9644, and they're located in Southfield, Michigan.
Southfield, Michigan. That is the area that I know. But the last person I want to give a shout out to is Tonya Riley. If you need your hair done, or you need your hair styled. Back in the day, they said hair done, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
What do they say now?
They hairstylists.
What do they say now, millenniums? Hello, Eisha, doctor. What do they say?
They not millennials. They not millennials though.
They're not. They're a little bit older.
She's a millennial, but Isha's not a millennial.
She said no. Like, hold on.
Listen. They at the low end. They millennial, but it's still. They call them hair extraordinaires. They call them hair stylists, and they call them hair repair management. So I call mine a hairstylist.
Okay,
braidologist.
Well, okay. Last person I want to shout out is Sonia Riley. Her telephone number is 248-636-3287. 248-636-3287. She is a hairstylist. Also, my last business I want to actually shout out. It's not actually a business, but it is Pontiac Panthers organization, who I am on the board. We are looking for football players between the ages of 6 and 8, ages 9 through 10, ages 11 through 12, ages 13 through 14, and ages 14, but they must be in the 8th grade. And then we're looking for cheerleaders. Let me just say between the ages of 3 and 13. I know Dr. T over there, like, Regina, can you just say between 3 and that age? But between ages of 3 and 13, we're looking for cheerleaders, and we're also looking for football players. If you want to have your child join, you can contact William Carrington at 313-318-7745, 313-318-7745, or you can contact Portia McIntosh Cade, 248-346-4721. It's the Pontiac Panthers Youth Football and Cheer if you're looking for your kid to join football or your kid to chore. We'll be right back.
Hi, Joe Longhammer here from Joe Longhammer Chevrolet with Regina, the Queen of Car Loans and the Queen of Community. Isn't that right, Regina?
That's right. When you buy a car from me, you get on the road in style, and you'll be enrolled in the Joe and the Queen's Community Program, where we help you work your way towards better credit.
Joe knows it's good to help our community here in Waterford and Metro Detroit.
To find me, Google Regina, the Queen of Car Loans.
Chevrolet, find new roads.
Hey, Dr. C, so we had a great show this week. I want to give a shout out to Eisha Branner of E-Community Outreach Services. She has, 3 or 4? How many locations do you have now?
4.
4 locations. Mm-hmm. How many locations? Can you say that with some? You got 4 locations?
Yes.
She's very modest. 4. She has 4 locations. So if you did not get to hear the show today, you can always go back to the replay, which is at beinthedriverseat.com. Beinthedriverseat.com. Show airs on Saturday. On that Wednesday or Thursday, our show is up on the website. Then you can also get snippets. We provide snippets to each guest that's on our show. Whether big point, whatever they want to talk about, is in a snippet for 1 minute.
Yeah, that's good. Also, if you are listening and you want to advertise your business, please email us at beinthedriverseat@gmail.com, beinthedrivers with an S at gmail.com. So, Regina, this has been an awesome show. I'm so glad we had Dr. Lucetry Dalton-Trusty on, and it was amazing. So, we thank you so much for listening. I hope you guys have a happy Saturday and do something nice for each other today.
But you know what we didn't do?
What we did?
We didn't congratulate. She is a newly ain't wet.
Yeah,
we didn't congratulate her.
Dr. Dalton, congratulations. I was so excited because, Delicious Sweet, the master baker that's on here, did her wedding cake, and it was absolutely beautiful. And she was able to provide that little small snack for her husband for the birthday. So shout out to the husband, Mr. Trusty. Congratulations, you got your prize, sir.
Yeah, they are a beautiful couple, and I'm just so proud of you guys. Just keep winning, and just keep winning, because you know what? You got the whole world in your hand. What's the word? You got the whole world in your hand.
She
you
talked
got
about
the
Lord now.
whole world in your hand.
That's
okay,
what she
the
used
Lord
to sing
too.
in the,
right?
in the nursery.
Have a good week, guys.
Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday.
You've been listening to Be in the Driver's Seat with Regina, the Queen of Car Loans, and mental health expert, Dr. Teresa Moore.
Brought to you by Joe Longhammer Chevrolet of Waterford.
Be in the Driver's Seat, a Saturday morning mix of cars, credit, and wellness created just for you. From Regina, the Queen of Car Loans, and Dr. Teresa Moore, thank you for listening.